So you've got your edge perfectly taped, and then you can fold out your plastic. Hey guys, Brad here, and today we're going to be taking a look at something that's very important in the renovation business, but as well as in painting. This is a very simple hand masker. This is the 3M M3000 version, and from all my years of using hand maskers, this one is my favorite so far. It's just the way it rolls the tape off and works with the paper and all that. It just works really, really well. So if you're not familiar with this type of tool, this essentially allows you to mask things off very, very quickly, as opposed to having to tape with like a roll of tape and go around and tape every little window or door, molding, whatever you're doing, and then go back after and apply paper and stuff. This kind of speeds up the process. 3M and other companies have come out with different products that we can put on this tool to make it a lot easier to use and to mask. So it's not just putting a single strip of paper. We can now apply a strip of poly plastic, and then that unfolds into a sheet. So I'm going to kind of show you some different options here that I have that I've been using for years that really help me speed up the job, the cleanliness, and just overall productivity of my workplace. So for starters, I typically use 3M blue tape. Quite often this is the tape we're using. This one here is pretty handy. One thing I will note that I've noticed with 3M tape, when you first get a fresh roll, it's usually like the first couple courses pulling the tape off, it wants to tear down the middle. And I don't know why that is, but once you get it going, then it's totally fine. So it's a really good tape. If you want to know more about tape, then there is a video that we did about tape a long time ago. I'm probably due to do another one on it, but yeah, check it out if you want to know more about different types of tape. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notify bell and give me a thumbs up, because it really helps the channel. And if you have any questions, please put them down below. And we'll leave links down below to this if we can find any. So let's get into it here. So basically we've got three sort of areas of this. We've got the cutter across the front. We've got a mount right here for your product, if it's paper or plastic. And then we've got this piece right here, which is for tape. Now, there are some different options out there. For starters, there's this roll, which is just poly. And this one here is, where's the distance on this thing? Yeah, 99 inches. So what I'm trying to say is this is just plastic, and you have to use this with tape. Now this product comes with the tape already on it. Super, super handy to have, and I'm going to demonstrate this one first. Okay, so all you have to do is slide it onto that nub, and we are good to go. So if you're masking something, let's say we're just going to mask this table, you just have to pull it out, tear it off. It's kind of like a saran wrap box, it takes a little bit of getting used to how you pull it. It's kind of on an angle and up. Very, very easy to use though. And then we tape that to our surface. And then this one, we can actually roll out the plastic, okay? And this plastic's really, really great because you can see it's sticking to the table. The static electricity just really sucks this down. So let's say you're doing some crown molding, cornice work, something like that, and you didn't want to get the walls sprayed. Let's say you're doing some spraying. You could tape off your work and then roll this out, and it'll stick right to the drywall, and you don't even have to, add more tape or anything like that. It works really, really well. Now, there are two ways to do this. There's the pro way, which is you literally just grab this and you run it along where you're, needing to work. Okay, this line here, you run it along and you keep pulling this out as you're using it. And once you get to the end, you tear it off. That's one way. Another way, which is sort of, if you're a beginner at this, this is the way I recommend. Go through and tape off your product. So tape off your fireplace, your window on your door, whatever you're painting. So use your tape. Okay, you tape that off and you get it really nice and perfect. Okay, so you know that you have a nice, clean, straight edge. Then go back after and use this. If you're doing spraying, for example, you get a lot of overspray. So you want to roll this out and you can put it right on your tape like that. And you don't need to be accurate. You could be crooked. It doesn't really matter because you've got your edge perfectly taped, and then you can fold out your plastic, and then your wall or surface, whatever you're doing, is protected. So I do this a lot when I'm working in sort of smaller, tighter areas that it's not easy to kind of just roll and press as you go. You kind of use where you can just like rip little sheets like I'm showing you here, and you just sort of add the tape and then add the plastic. So two sort of options when using this tool. Now there are, if you don't get the 3M masker, there are like Scotch Blue. They make their own sort of roll with a cutter in here, and these are pretty handy too. Okay, you can just pull out what you need, tear it off, and then tape it down, and away you go. Now I will note that this Scotch Blue, the tape, is a lot better than this tape that I'm using right here. So let me just grab a new roll. This product is Easy Mask. Now I've found over the years of using Easy Mask is that the blue tape is not the greatest. That's why I like putting the darker blue tape down first, or green tape, depending on your how fresh your paint is, your surface. So make sure you're looking into that as well, because each tape is stickier than the next. But I find that I'm just going to peel this off. I find that this light blue stuff, which is this product here, doesn't stick as well. You can see how easy that comes off. This is super great if you've got really, really fresh paint. It will not pull the paint. So I'm always using the dark blue tape, and then I put this product over top, just because I don't trust that this tape is going to prevent bleeding. Now another thing you can do, and this is sort of my T-stack box where I keep all my poly and my masking and all that type of stuff, is you can go out and you can buy frog tape. Frog tape is really, really good. Now I know I'm getting into some tapes here, but I feel like it's all sort of related to the masker. Frog tape is really, really nice for getting those really tight lines and not getting any bleeding. And then you can go back after with your masker and put that on and protect your walls. Now we have some jobs where our clients are very, very particular, and we have some very high-end homes that we work in. So some jobs I've worked on, we've had to mask the entire home, and that's where these come in handy. I've got two right here, and I know I have some other brands as well, but these are my favorite ones. They're nice and sturdy, where we've masked like 3,000 square feet of a house with this type of plastic. Now we'll use probably this one because it does spread out a lot further, but when you're using plastic like this, and I'll demonstrate that, I'll demonstrate the paper, which is probably more common. You want to make sure when you're polying off houses that you're going as fast as you possibly can. So you get the paper in here. Now we get the tape, and the tape roll clips on the side. Okay. Then this can get tricky sometimes. It can run sideways and all that. And it does take time. So I'm going to set it up as best as I can here. You stick it to the paper like that. All right. Now when you roll it out, the tape is stuck to the paper. All right. So that's how the tape is applied to the paper. And then you can mask off your area. So you can kind of see the different sort of processes. I really am getting away from the paper application and going more towards the plastic that already has the tape on it. Reason being, it's just a step that I'm eliminating. It's also a cost that I'm eliminating. And the fact that this tape sometimes starts to run a little funny, that's sometimes an issue. But the main reason for me is I really like how the plastic is statically charged almost, and it just sticks to my wall. Whereas the paper is good, don't get me wrong. Everything, has its application. But, the paper, then later I'll have to go back and maybe tape these edges down and tape here. Because if I'm using a sprayer and if this edge is open and I've got maybe a bit of an overlap like this, you want to make sure you have a decent overlap, but also your sprayer can blow this up and you can get some paint underneath it. So you do want to make sure that you're thinking about that. Just because it's covered, it's not necessarily going to be covered from a sprayer because it's got that air blowing and then it gets underneath your protected product. So, I suggest when you get one of these, just practice, get a cheap roll of tape, maybe a cheap roll of paper like this, and just practice using it. Because once you've started using these, you just won't ever go back. When I first started in the trades, I didn't use these. We just used tape, and we had some paper, and we laid it out, or cardboard, or whatever it was, poly, big rolls of lightweight poly, and you'd go around and you'd tape that all off. This is just such a game changer for me. And I've been using it for years. So if you haven't tried one and you're doing a paint project, do yourself a solid and get one of these. Even if you're doing like baseboard, you could just go around and if you're doing baseboard but with a brush, you could just go around the house and put this out and just put it right up against your baseboard. And if you really want, you go through with tape first. It doesn't have to be the blue tape. This is another tape we use. It's G tape, extremely expensive. Might be a little overkill, but you can use any kind of tape really that's not going to leave a residue on your floor. Put that down first, and then you come in and you put that over top of the other tape, and you're totally protected and all is good. So, highly recommend this, guys. I can't say enough about them. They're just super, super handy. If you're a painter, I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys, you're masters at this stuff, so all is good. All right, guys, leave some comments down below. Subscribe, hit that notify bell. Till next time, keep on crushing it. We'll catch you later.